Anna Maria Knezevich was a 40-year-old woman who disappeared on February 2nd, 2024. But what could have happened to her? Where could she be? Well, let's try and find out. Anna Maria was born in Colombia and she graduated with a degree in international business from the IFIT University in Medellin, Colombia. Not long after she graduated, she made the decision to emigrate to the US at the age of 22. Anna was bright, intelligent, very personable, and she was able to find a really good job in general management in the medical field. Anna was quickly making a new life for herself in the US and everything was going great. She had a good job, good friends, and at some point she met a guy that she really liked and she fell in love with him. His name was David Knezevich. So David was 4 years younger than Anna, and like Anna, he also emigrated to the US. He was from Serbia and he graduated with a degree in IT before emigrating to the United States of America, living in Miami. So not long after he had founded an IT company, he began dating Anna. Things began moving quite quickly for the couple, and before long, they got married. The IT business was taking off and David practically begged Anna to come on board and help run the company as a manager. They seemed like a perfect couple, a match made in heaven. And as time went by, they even started a couple of other businesses together. One of them was a property business. And with the success of their businesses, they bought a house together in Miami. So life was going great, until it wasn't. Unfortunately, after 13 years of marriage, their love for each other had faded, and Anna and David decided to call it quits and separate. Their separation led to divorce proceedings, and that's where things began to get really toxic. With 3 successful multi-million-dollar businesses between them, this divorce was not going to be simple. Anna was pushing for a 50-50 split of all assets, where both parties would receive 50% each of all businesses and savings. But of course, David was not happy with this. He wanted at least 75%. And this back and forth battle was going on through spring and summer 2023. And the stress of it all was really starting to get to Anna. She was prescribed antidepressants and lived in a constant state of anxiety on a daily basis. She wanted to get away from it all, just clear her head and heal. So one day she decided to take a trip to Madrid, Spain. She had been there before and she loved it. And of course, being from Colombia, she knew the language. And so in December 2023, she had packed up all of her things and bought a one-way ticket from Miami to Madrid, Spain, all by herself. And within a few weeks, her mental health had improved significantly. She wasn't thinking or worrying about the divorce anymore. And she told her friends and family that with the money that she had made from her businesses, she wouldn't really have to work for a very long time, so she could just concentrate on enjoying her life. So even though she went to Madrid all by herself, she made sure to keep in touch with her friends and family, either by messaging or by phone, every single day. Until one day, something very strange happened. On the evening of Friday, the 2nd of February 2024, Anna was chatting to one of her best friends called Sana, and the conversation was about a trip that they had been planning for the following Monday. It was a trip to Barcelona. At around 10 o'clock, they were still on the phone, and Anna basically said that she was quite tired and that she was going to go to sleep. She told her friend that she would message her tomorrow. And so the next day, Anna's best friend Sana Ramiu received a very strange message from Anna. And this message said, "I met someone wonderful. He has a summer house about 2 hours away from Madrid. We are going there now and I will spend a few days there. Signal is spotty. I'll call you when I get back. Yesterday after therapy I needed a walk, and he approached me on the street. Amazing connection, like I never had before." And at around the same time that day, Anna's brother Juan also received the same message, but this time in Spanish. Upon receiving this message, Anna's friend Sana thought that this was very strange, because it's not like Anna to just meet some guy off the street and then run off with him to wherever he lives, just like that. And it was also very strange because they had just been talking on the phone the previous evening. If she had met this great guy on the street, why would Anna not mention it when they were talking on the phone together? You know, if you're talking on the phone with your best friend and you met some great guy previously that day, that would be like one of the first things that you mention. You'd be like, "Hey, I just met this great guy and I'm thinking of going on a date with him tomorrow," or whatever, you know. But Anna never mentioned it. So her sending that message the next day, it was just very strange to Sana. So Sana replied back, just asking Anna more questions about who this guy is, where exactly is he from, and just more information. However, Anna did not message back. Sana's message didn't even go through. And this obviously worried Sana, so she decided to call the authorities. And so the next day, on Sunday the 4th of February 2024, the fire department decided to pay a welfare check on Anna. They knocked on her door, but there was no answer. They were able to gain access to Anna's apartment through the window, and they noticed that the front door had been locked from the outside. They looked around the apartment and nothing was out of the ordinary. Everything just seemed quite normal. There was no sign of any disturbance, and of course, unfortunately, there was no sign of Anna. But what they did notice was that there was no sign of Anna's phone, laptop, or chargers. Shortly afterwards, the police arrived and they started asking neighbors questions. They wanted to know if they had seen anything unusual over the past few days. And that's when one of Anna's neighbors came forward and said that they did in fact see something unusual on the night of Friday the 2nd of February. Her neighbor said that they noticed the security cameras around Anna's apartment building had been covered in black spray paint. They also said that they noticed that the lights in Anna's apartment were still on at around 1 o'clock in the morning. And if you remember, when Anna was talking on the phone with her best friend Sana on Friday evening, she had mentioned that she was feeling very tired at around 10 o'clock and that she was going to go to sleep. So there's no reason for the light to still be on at around 1 o'clock in the morning that night. So that made the Spanish authorities start checking the CCTV footage of that day. As they were watching back the CCTV footage, everything seemed normal, and at around 2:30 p.m. that day, they actually saw Anna walking into her apartment. But afterwards in the evening, they saw something weird. At around 9:30 p.m, they saw a man wearing a helmet entering the apartment just as some people were walking out. The man was wearing a helmet and mask, and he was holding a can of black spray paint, and he walked over to the CCTV cameras and started spray painting them black. At around this time, Anna's brother Juan began messaging the authorities because he was worried about Anna too. He had told him about a strange message that he had received from Anna's WhatsApp. He had told him that the message that he received did not sound like Anna. He said that she wouldn't just randomly go off with some guy that she had just met, and he told him that she always replies to his messages. However, this time round, there was no reply. He messaged her back, but she didn't send anything back to him. By now, the story began getting picked up by the news both nationally and internationally. And this is where things began to get even more interesting. A Colombian woman saw the news about Ana Maria being missing, and she saw the WhatsApp messages that were being sent from Anna's phone to her brother Juan, and she saw something that just made her stomach churn. A few months prior to this Colombian woman was on a dating app called Hinge. She was swiping around and she swiped right to this guy that she really liked, and they actually matched. And when they matched, they began talking to each other, and this man made a strange request to her. He wanted her to translate something for him in Spanish. He wanted this message to sound authentic Colombian. This woman thought that this request was a bit strange, but he told her that he worked as a writer and he was writing on a new script, and the character in the script was Colombian, and so he wanted her to translate this message to perfect Colombian Spanish. And it was the same message that was sent to Anna's brother Juan. And so when this Colombian woman saw this message pop up on the news, she was shocked. And she was even more shocked when she saw the photo of David. It was the same David that she had matched with months previously, and it was the same David that had asked her to transcribe those messages in Spanish. Her heart sunk at the sight of him, and she contacted the police straight away and told them her story. At around the same time, the police were already starting to put things together. The paint which was used to cover those CCTV cameras at Anna's apartment was analysed at the lab, and it was traced back to a specific hardware store which sold that specific paint. So the police went to that store and began reviewing the CCTV footage of the 2nd of February 2024. And that's where they made a big breakthrough. In that CCTV footage, they saw a man that looked just like Anna's estranged husband David Knezevich buying duct tape as well as black spray paint. The authorities then re-reviewed the CCTV footage from Anna's apartment on the Friday the 2nd of February, and they saw that even though the man was wearing a helmet and mask, as he approached the CCTV camera, you could see his face, you can sort of see his eyebrows and his eyes. And if you look at Anna's husband David, he has these distinctive looking dark eyebrows and dark eyes, and they matched the man from the CCTV cameras from Anna's apartment. They also noticed that even though he had spray painted those CCTV cameras, you could still see him leaving Anna's apartment building about an hour later with a large black suitcase. With all of this new information, David Knezevich was arrested on the 4th of May 2024 at the Miami International Airport as he was coming back from Serbia, and he was charged in connection with the disappearance of Ana Maria on February 2nd, 2024. David says that he is innocent, and that when Anna is said to have disappeared, He says that he was in Serbia with his family. If the man in the Madrid hardware store surveillance footage is in fact David, and I believe that it definitely is, it looks just like him, then it means that David is lying about being in Serbia during Anna's disappearance. Upon further investigation, the police found out that on January the 29th, 2024, David had rented a Peugeot 308 car from a car rental company in Belgrade, Serbia, and then he returned it about 5 weeks later. However, upon the return of that rental car to the company, the car rental company said that the car was returned with tinted windows and that he had covered around 4,000 miles. It's weird because when they first rented the car to him, he didn't have tinted windows, and authorities believe that David used that car to drive from Belgrade, Serbia to Madrid, Spain, and en route he tinted the car windows and also changed the license plate numbers. The round trip from Belgrade, Serbia to Madrid, Spain is around 4,000 miles altogether. So currently David is behind bars and has been ever since he was arrested on May the 4th. Due to his wealth, his ties to Serbia, and his frequent international travel, he is deemed to be an international flight risk and was therefore put in pre-trial detention. He has since appeared in front of the judge and pleaded not guilty to the kidnapping charge. He has not yet been charged with murder because Anna's body has not been charged and there is no real evidence that Anna has been murdered. So far he can only be charged with a kidnapping charge. Also, the car which David had used from the rental company had a tracker inside it. So right now the police are checking all of the locations which the car traveled to, and they are going to search all of those locations to see if they can find Anna Maria. So this is pretty much all the information that we have, and obviously this case is still ongoing. But based on what we know so far, this is what I think happened to Anna Maria Knezevich. Anna and David had separated. They were going through a very tough divorce. They had assets worth well over $10 million, and Anna wanted 50%. David obviously wasn't happy with this. He wanted at least 75%. Anna decided to move to Spain on December 2023, and David saw this as an opportunity to get all the assets to himself, and that's when he began to plot and scheme. He found out exactly where Anna was staying in Madrid, Spain, and then he rented a Peugeot 308 car from Belgrade to Madrid, Spain. He rented a car and drove 1,800 miles from Serbia to Spain, and en route he tinted the car windows and changed license plate numbers. Once in Madrid, on the afternoon of the 2nd of February 2024, David stopped off at a hardware store. In this hardware store is where he bought the black spray paint and duct tape. He then drove to Anna's apartment and just waited there. Waited till it got dark in the evening. At around 9:30 PM, that's when he made his move. Wearing a black mask and a black helmet, he entered Anna's apartment building. He walked over to the CCTV cameras. Using the black spray paint which he brought previously, he spray painted the lenses. And then he knocked on Anna's door. Since there was no sign of forced entry, I suspect that Anna probably just let him in. Once he knocked on Anna's door, he probably said something like, "Hey Anna, it's me, David. Your family told me where to find you. I wanted to talk to you about the divorce. I think you're right. Let's just go 50-50. Or he could have just asked for forgiveness and told her that he wanted another chance at the relationship. Either way, Anna opened the door and let him in. Once she closed the door, he attacked her. I think that he probably strangled her. David was much bigger than Anna. Anna was quite petite, so it would have been quite easy for him to overpower her, especially if he caught her by surprise. He had a large suitcase with her, and with Anna being so small, I think he put Anna's body inside that suitcase before sending those messages to Anna's best friend and her brother. Afterwards, he would have broke her phone and laptop and put all of that along with the chargers inside the suitcase with Anna. He would have then left the apartment, put that suitcase into his car and drove off. On the way from Serbia to Madrid, he probably scouted for some locations of where he could hide a body. I would suspect some rural areas with lots of trees and bushes, maybe lakes and rivers, those sorts of places. So on the way back, he probably went back to one of these locations that he found and hid the suitcase somewhere there, along with the helmet that he wore and the clothes that he wore to commit the crime. He then changed back the license plate numbers, but I think he actually forgot to change the tinted windows back to how they were before. He then returned the car back to the rental company in Belgrade and acted like nothing had ever happened. I think the motive was simple, just pure greed. He wanted the fortune that they had made all to himself. He didn't want to share it with Anna at all, and he was willing to do whatever it takes to get it all. And that's about it for this video. If there are any more updates in the coming months, if they find Anna, I'll make an update video. And if you found this video interesting, please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.